I have a hard time participating in corporate worship. It just seems like a show. Do you have any advice?
Yvette, you have my full sympathy. That's all I can say. And see Dean smiling over there because you've heard me address this in my pastor seminar sometimes. And so I think we have to be careful that our worship is focused on Jesus Christ. And Yvette says here that it seems like a show, and it can become a show. It can become just a performance. It's all about how good the mics were working, how good the harmony was, how the mixing was, and how each one came across. But it's really, worship is supposed to be the whole body together, worshiping Christ. And so I sympathize with this. I try to look at it this way. I'm only in charge of one person. I'm in charge of myself. And so I don't have to evaluate and judge everybody else. And I might think maybe this person is a bit showy. I don't have to assess that. I don't have to know who's putting on a show and who's not, and who's in the flesh and who's in the spirit, so to speak, as some would express it. I am only responsible for me. And so I can say, Lord, I want to worship you today. I want to give you praise. I am thankful for what you've done to me. So I would give that advice. This focus is between you and the Lord. Now, sometimes, and people sing these songs that don't even glorify Christ at all. It's more self-glorification. And then I change the words. I have been known to be in a worship service and they are singing certain songs which I think are not scriptural, and I just make up my own words and have a good time anyhow. And they don't even know it. I don't tell anybody I did it, except I'm telling you right now. But I just make up my own words. When they sing, "These are the days of Elijah," I know these are not the days of Elijah. He's long gone. I sing, "These are the days of the believer. These are the days of Christ and his believers. This is the day of the gospel." So I just change it around. I love the tune. And so my advice is, it's between you and God. And we don't have to assess everybody else. Hope that helps. You can enjoy your Sunday morning service even more. Okay.
Next question from Sarah. I heard you say a study shows that 95% of those who start out in ministry in their 20s and 30s quit before 65. What is your key to longevity?
Well, I think the study, maybe I said it in the wrong way. They quit, or they somehow was sidetracked, didn't cross the age 65. Not that that is a finish line. I can't even imagine being that old, but if it was, that is not it's a finish line. But I would say this: the most important for anybody, minister or anybody who's a Christian, is to be anchored in Christ. What I find sometimes in ministry, some people get caught up in a thing. It could be they get into prophecy or into faith or into something else. And that's all okay, as long as you are balanced, anchored in Christ, so that your life, you could say, my life has been the story of growing in the knowledge of Jesus Christ. I encountered Christ, I put my roots in Christ, and yes, different trends come, different things, but some people get into something and then they become disappointed. They start feeling empty inside. They feel like this is not what I started out with. And what's really happened, they drift from Christ. And so I think a key to longevity is to stay connected to Christ. I know that has been the truth for me. When different winds have come that made me say, I'm quitting, I'm giving up the whole thing, I don't give up because of Christ. He means too much to me. And I want to keep growing in the knowledge of Christ. So that's what I would say to that person. You have one more question today?
One more from Anna. Over the last year, the appearance of my niece has changed drastically to a heavy metal kind of gothic look. It disturbs me. Do you have any advice?
Well, relatives, family get disturbed by family members maybe that seem to be struggling or trying to find themselves. And it doesn't have to be family, it could be any person. Let me tell you what I do. When I see something, and I want to speak up right away. I want to kind of give my 2 cents or $2 worth, whatever it is, and say, well, what's going on? I think it's good to stand back and just love the person. Don't pay attention to things that look different on the outside, and then wait for the opportunity. But don't say anything in the sense of, I'm admonishing you. Ask questions. You could say, well, hey, I noticed you changed your looks from a year ago. What's going on? What, you like this look? What's going on? And then let them talk. Don't interrupt them. It's the same when I witness or share Christ with someone. Let them talk. Let them tell exactly what they're thinking, because sooner or later they're going to ask, what do you think? And then they have opened the door for you to enter in and share. They invited you in. And so that's what I would say. Love with the love of Christ, as much as that person is ready to receive that. And then wait for the opportunity, but don't rush, because our tendency is, I don't want her, I don't want him to hurt himself, I don't want him to hurt himself, I want to fix everything. But that can actually bring a short circuiting. So, God knows everything and he opens the doors.